Okay, so we determined there are 189 million shares outstanding. That's what the 10Q said over here. Hopefully you can see that. There's 189 million shares outstanding. So, it's a pizza pie with 189 million slices. Each slice is $3. The whole pizza is $650 million. That's what Arbutus Biopharma is worth, $650 million. Now, it gets a little more complicated because there's still cash they have. And, to understand the enterprise value concept is basically one of the most important concepts in all of finance. And if you don't understand it now, I'll try to go through it quickly. So if you pay, this is a company, for example, with 9 shares, okay? We started a company. This is the Kanye West pharmaceutical company, and there's 9 shares. And I'm going to make, these are my shares, okay? And these are Kanye's shares. So I own 4/9 of the company, and Ye owns 5/9. That make sense? Okay. So there's 9 shares outstanding, and we think the stock price is, let's say $1 million a share. And we could reverse this as well. We could say there's 9 million shares outstanding, and the stock price is, say, $10. Maybe that is a little more common of a situation. Okay, so the market cap is 90 million. Now, let's say the company, this is our balance sheet. And the cash in our company, which came from those original shares, is 40 million, and we have no debt. Well, yeah, we make nitrous. That's our main product. It's nitrous. Where did nitrous at? So we have 40 in cash, right? So if you were looking to buy the stock, you would say, well, the market cap's 90 million because there's 9 million shares and they're $10 each. And the cash is 40 million. So what is the company being valued at? And what is the cash being valued at? Well, the company's value is always indeterminate, right? It's like a Gödel, uncertainty. You don't know exactly what the company's worth. You never really will. But with cash, we do know what cash is worth. Cash is worth exactly what it says it's worth. There's no ambiguity that the cash is worth $40 million because that's what $40 million is worth. So therefore, the company or the enterprise must be worth what? Anybody know?
Order filled.
Yeah, 50 million. Very good.
Partially filled.
This is get gooder mate. Get gooder mate. He got it. Because anybody would say, well, you got 40 million in cash, so whatever else you got cooking has to be worth 50 million. And we're cooking nitrous in this case. Now, what if the opposite was the case? Oops. Where we had 40 million in debt and we had, let's say, no cash. How would we look at the value of the enterprise then? Well, debt is senior to equity, so debt has to get paid first. So if this company, one day we sold this company for $1 billion, we'd have to pay this debt first. And we'd have 960 left over, right? We would not have $1 billion because we'd have to pay this debt holder first. So the enterprise value, in this case, we added. So the enterprise value is 130 million, because you're basically saying, well, if you have 40 in debt, that means the company has to be worth more than 90 million because you got to pay the 40. So at 130, you clean out the debt and the business itself is worth 130, because if it's trading for 90 and that includes the debt, then the enterprise must be worth 130. You're only going to get 90 of it because the 40 in debt has to get paid off. And so that's the idea of enterprise value. And I've done a lot of different videos on this. So if it's confusing or whatever, try to wrap your head around it, because it's really, really, really important. And I've explained this on the internet about 1,000 times. You may not be able to find the videos, but other people have explained it too. So I don't think you're going to have too much of a problem finding a good explainer. But if you don't understand enterprise value, you should just stop and whatever you're doing and just go understand that first. Don't even watch anything else. Okay, so how much cash does this company have? Well, it looks like they have 31 million, it says, in cash and cash equivalents. And then it says they have 95 million or 95.9 in investments in marketable securities. I include that in cash because marketable securities, typically, that's probably treasuries. And treasuries can be converted to cash right away. Okay? I'm not going to include accounts receivable or prepaids, but I will include, I'm not going to include property, plant, and equipment, but I will include this investments in marketable securities, non-current. So these are probably treasuries as well, but they're probably 2-year treasuries or 5-year treasuries or 10-year treasuries. So the total of the cash is 131. Okay. How about debt? Let's take a look. Accounts payable, that's not debt. License revenue, that's not debt. Lease liability, not debt. Liability related to future royalties, that might be debt. That's kind of close. It's only 5 million, so it's not going to make a big deal, even if we don't include it. So I'm going to say there's 0 in debt. So we're going to take the market cap and subtract the cash, and we see the enterprise value is 519 million, but the market cap 650. So this is enough of a difference there that I'm glad we looked at the balance sheet. You can imagine the huge mistake you can make if you don't look at the balance sheet and there's a huge asset in cash or there's a huge liability in debt and you missed it. That would be atrocious. I would fling you out of my office for being so foolish.
Order partially filled.
In any event, we got the market gyrating quite a bit here.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
I'm loving it. Okay.